You guys are the worst. Holy shit. Hello. Happy twice a year YouTube stream that hopefully is working. Turn down the background music just a little bit. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And G Sandwich, Juno, VOD, you guys are freaking popping off and we are just getting started. Mushroom and pineapple pizza. Oh, okay, is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna fight today? That's fun. Hi fam. Hope you guys are doing okay. As I was explaining, this is not actually my birthday, it's tomorrow. And I am in Australia, so it is Saturday here already. But I wanted to make sure I had enough time to do this with you guys and do it properly. So here we are. Happy twice a year YouTube stream. Exactly. We'll do it again in September for the anniversary of the channel. And once again, I will be completely scuffed and wondering how the fuck to do this because my OBS is 99% of the time Twitch. So anyway, hi guys. It is so good to see you. I feel like we don't do this enough, but I honestly don't know when else we would. Yeah, this is just if you're new here, if you haven't done one of these with me before, I do stream on Twitch 4 times a week. So most of the time I'm live over there, but I like to do this twice a year over here to hang out with people that I don't normally get to hang out with, and new faces as well as old faces, and give people a chance to talk about the channel and ask questions and things like that without having to, go over to Twitch if they don't want to, because I know not everybody likes Twitch, so that's totally fine. It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the birthday greetings. I appreciate that. It's I'm very ambivalent on my birthdays, and traditionally I don't have a lot of great ones, so it's nice to just be chill like this. For my actual birthday tomorrow, I will probably do an early stream on Twitch, but that'll be just like a chill stream kind of thing. So you guys are more than welcome to hang over there. It's Urban Nymph over there, just like it is here. And then after that, I know Lupus has plans for us. I don't know what the plans are. He just wrote a time on the calendar with a little smiley face, so we'll see what that turns out to be. Yeah. Happy birthday. Thank you. And thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you. Didn't know how to Twitch. I do. I'm over there, and this is the funny thing about YouTube is that I've done my best to let people on YouTube know that I have a Twitch, because I feel like you guys like this kind of thing where we hang out and shoot the shit and stuff like that. But YouTube's community platform algorithm being what it is, a lot of those posts just don't get seen. So every time we do one of these, people are like, I didn't know you had a Twitch. Yeah, I've been streaming on Twitch for 2.5 years. So definitely check me out over there. It's way more casual than the audios. It's not scripted, of course. It's a lot of really bad gaming, and also, just a little more realistic. I do swear. I do, so keep that in mind. I am not, my daily self is wholesome to a point, but nobody is as wholesome all the time as those audios. They're just not. I write those to be the peak wholesome content that they can be. And anybody that tried to be like that 24/7 would probably explode. So yeah, definitely not all the time. But happy solar return. I like that. I have made another trip around the sun, and so far it's not too bad. Oh, I seen a salty. I don't know what that is. Jen Twitch. We do have really fun emotes over on Twitch. I've got really cute animated emotes. I've got lots of inside joke type emotes, and if you hang out for longer than 10 minutes, you will totally understand. We have fun. We have fun over on Twitch. Adam, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Someone had to have been born today. I know, right? I mean, there's just a lot of people on the planet. There's a lot of March birthdays. I attribute it to a lot of June weddings when our parents were younger. I know my parents got married in June, and then, I was born in March. And if you can math, that makes a lot of sense. So, I don't have any structure for this. This is just going to be a hangout with you guys. Oh, a saltwater crocodile. No, I'm in Western Australia. We don't, I think, have any crocodiles here. If we do, they're very, very far north. I know there's, wildlife that's very specific to different areas of Australia, not just the continent as a whole. I have seen no crocodiles in the wild. When I lived in Florida, I saw alligators constantly. Those little fuckers will live in any water. Like any pond there was an alligator in it, which is fine. They're pretty low key. I never minded the alligators, but here I have not seen any. The only reptile I have seen is a shingleback, which is kind of a stubby, fat, pretty good size, like kind of chunky little lizard, and they're super sweet. I like them. So. Many people of your entourage are having a lot of March birthdays. It just do be the thing. I personally, I've wished happy birthday to like half a dozen people on Twitter so far this month. So you celebrate one tomorrow? Yeah. Honored to be a patron. Thank you guys. I really do like. This is one of those things that's a little difficult because where'd my music go? There it goes. Okay. That was a long pause. Because obviously this is my job and I couldn't do it without the support of, Patreon and Twitch and stuff like that, you guys. But it also feels weird to encourage that sort of behavior from you. So, yeah, I'm awkward. I am IRL pretty awkward. So just keep that in mind. Another grammar rant. We'll see where we end up. I did kind of want to punch VOD earlier for putting an apostrophe before the word eh. Eh is not an abbreviation for anything. You don't need an apostrophe there at all. Yeah, gators are they're not going to charge at you and eat your face clean off. Like, they're not aggressive. They want to be left alone. The biggest one I ever saw in person was like 5 or 6 feet. It was pretty good size. It was just big enough for me to be a little nervous, but it didn't move. It didn't want to do anything. So, happy birthday. Thank you. Sorry, I have allergies and I have only just woken up like an hour ago. So, allergies do be. Eh is not short for heh. It is not. That's not how words work. What was I gonna say? Shark infested beaches. Yeah, that is true. They do have sharks here. But again, in Florida, where I lived, was not that far north of the shark bite capital of the world. But the bites are generally from like smaller, like baby sharks, so people don't die. But there's like more bites, you know what I mean? Like, you'll get bit, but you're not going to die. Here, they do have great white sharks. Most of the great whites, though, that enter the waters here are tagged. There's like 300 and something of them that they track. So if one of them crosses the boundary and enters like a public beach or something, they know what to do. They send up an alert. Everybody gets out of the water. It's fine. Like, they have adapted here to swimming with incredibly large, terrifying predators. It's Australia, Hope everyone's having a most excellent Friday. I am in the future since it's Australia. I'm in Saturday, and so far so good. I've been awake a little bit, so make sure my avatar is moving properly. Yep, that'll work. Sharks do get a bad rap. They do. I'm trying to think if I ever saw one of those in person. I've seen a lot of dolphins in person, not here, but in Florida. Jellyfish, of course. But like cannonball jellyfish, so they're pretty useless. Yeah, I haven't really spent much time in the ocean here. We're not big beach people. We did go to the dog beach with family on, I want to say Christmas Eve. And that was fun. But I mean, because it's summer here, it's the seasons are reversed. So we're coming out of summer here, starting to enter autumn. Which means my allergies are off the charts. But that's okay. Glad you started nature chat. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the wildlife here. The wildlife here is one of my favorite things about Australia. They have a lot of native parrots like cockatoos and the pink and grays, which are called galahs. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're big pink and gray parrots. And these little like rainbowy ones that are just adorable. They're everywhere. They're wild. We get them like at the end of the day. It's funny, at sunset, you'll hear all the pink and grays come home from wherever the hell they were all day. And there's a tree outside of our house, a huge old tree that really attracts the parrots because it has these fruits, these nuts on it that the parrots love. And they'll all come home. They'll come home and roost in that tree at the end of the day. And you can hear them. They scream the whole way. So I love the birds. And then there's also a place we go not that far away that has kangaroos, like a shit ton of kangaroos. I've posted some of those pictures on my Instagram, and occasionally I will tweet them. If you don't follow me on like Twitter especially, Twitter's a really good place to follow me because I do put everything there. Every time I release an audio, it's there. Every time I go live on Twitch, it's there. And also just a lot of my stupid, inane, rambling bullshit is there. So, yeah, definitely follow me on Twitter if you don't, if you like that sort of thing. Get me streaming tomorrow. I'm trying to think of what time. I normally go live around the same time on Saturday nights your time, Sunday mornings my time, but because it's my birthday, I might start a little earlier. Also, we have plans, so I need to make sure to be done and ready to go before that. So, probably, I want to say maybe like 7 p.m. Eastern time would be the most relatable for you guys, which is 7 a.m. my time. It's probably when I'll go live over on Twitch. And again, it's probably just going to be a chill stream. I don't know what we're going to play, but it's not going to be anything exciting, probably. I'm not doing any more Subnautica anytime soon. And that's another thing. If you guys are patrons on my Patreon, I know some people have their alerts turned off, but I do a thing every week called the Patron Pick Game Night, where you guys choose what I play on Twitch. It has led to some very interesting game nights. You guys had me playing Mortuary Assistant, you had me playing Subnautica, you had me playing Outlast, Outer Wilds. All of those came about because of the Patron Pick Game Night. So if you are a patron, be sure, and that's patron at any level. It's not like, a certain level and up, it's just any patron. Definitely vote in those polls or suggest game. What happens is the patrons suggest a game, and then I put all the suggestions into a poll and you guys vote on it. And if you want to have a say in the things that I play, that is how you do it. So definitely check those out. I do make a post every time, so if you have your notifications turned on for Patreon, you should get that email. But again, those things go to spam and stuff like that. So I want to make sure you guys are enjoying your perks and, getting free reign to torture me as much as possible. Congrats on the 4 years. Thanks. It's actually, this is not the channel's birthday, it's mine. The channel's birthday is in September. It'll be 4 years for the channel in September. Because I started September 30th of 2019, in the before time, right before COVID hit. So, yeah. But this is my birthday, and since my birthday and the channel's birthday are roughly 6 months apart, it works out pretty well to do my celebratory streams for both of those things here. So stop by real quick and say hi. Thank you. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Halo's here. Hello, hello. Choo Choo Charles was suggested once. It didn't win the poll though. That's just it. You can't just suggest a game. You also have to vote for it when the time comes. So how hard was it to convert to Celsius? Not as hard as you think. It wasn't terrible. I actually just, when you're surrounded by people who talk in temperatures, it's like, teens and 20s being normal, you get used to it. Like, I have a rough, every so often I'll open like my weather app and I'll flip it back to Fahrenheit to see exactly what something is, but let's check what it is outside right now. I think it's been cooling off lately. Yeah, it's 17 out right now, which for you American Freedom Unit people is 63 degrees. So that's pretty nice. I'll take that. Oof. The town I grew up in is much colder. That's okay. Oh, close the weather app. There it goes. Alright, cool. I'm 4 years old. I feel like it sometimes. I'm also a picky eater, so that would kind of fit with the 4-year-old thing. I get a lot of shit for that, but you know what? I'm okay with it. What's better, a mile or a kilometer? I mean, better for what? If it's a distance that you have to walk across hot coals, I'd say go for the kilometer. If it's a street lined in money and you can pick up all of it, maybe go for the mile. You discovered me half a year ago? Cool. I haven't discovered me yet, but I'm working on it. astronomical units. I would love that if everything we did was in like decimals, because astronomical, like that would be so much fun. How many sig figs are we talking? Do I still have the Cheez-Its on the throne page? Probably. So that is something interesting about Australia that both frustrates and charms me, is that some things are incredibly available, like snack-wise and stuff, and some things are just very not. And Cheez-Its are one of the nots. And you'd think that sort of joy would permeate, would have spread itself across the world as the universal unifier of snack goodness. It's Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its are good. But, yeah. What was my first console game? Why are you yelling at me? Also, I have no idea. Who remembers their first console game? God damn. That would have been I would have been very little. I don't know. I don't remember. Jeez. Taking a cross-country trip, it's only... Wow. Man, you're going far, Halo. Happy birthday, thank you. You guys are still enjoying Vampire Roommate? Yeah, me too. I'm settling into the new arc. I know what I want to do with it. It's gonna be a lot. You guys are gonna have to be patient on this one because I have some things to build out and I have to grab the guys for the collab stuff more often. Actually, I'm thinking of bringing in some additional voices for collabing on the Vampire Roommate because it is such an incredibly, like, it's a monster of a series. We're, 40 episodes into this thing. It would take the entirety of, a work day to listen to all of it. So, I think it's time. It's okay to expand a little bit. Thane, thank you so much for the super chat. Raclette, you are such a tease. If you guys don't know, raclette is basically just like gooey melted cheese. It slides all over everything, and it just, every time he posts pictures of it, I want more of it. So, Wii Sports. Yeah, see, I do have I have memories of being really bad at Wii bowling. I wanted to be better. I really did. AB, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy birthday, thank you. You remember your first con? See, I don't have very clear memories of stuff like that. It all kind of runs together for me. Some things just, I don't stick in my brain. And you guys know, every so often when I'm streaming on Twitch, something will come up like it did yesterday that I should have known because I was recently introduced to it, and then it immediately fell out of my brain because my brain rejected it, and then those things come back. So, by the streamer, yeah. Treat stream is a thing. I'm not doing it because I stream in the morning, you guys. This is morning my time. I don't need you guys sending me tacos at 9:30 in the morning. I'm fine, thank you. Plus treat stream, there's a lot of fees and stuff involved. It's pretty expensive, even just to send somebody tacos. And it doesn't always work. I used to do it for Europe sometimes, and it would, half the time end up getting refunded because it didn't go through. So. Clever car. See, you guys like the clever car? Some of those are just designed to be one-offs, some of the sillier ones, like the Andre cell phone and stuff, I love them to death, but they're not meant to have a sequel. I probably won't do a Pocket re-sequel. I probably won't do, oh god, there's a million. I've got more than 500 audios now, you guys, so there's a lot that are probably never going to get a part 2 because I just like them as they are. They're fun little vignettes, little moments. Voice actors for the kids. They haven't had kids yet, and they may not. Opinion on an Oasis cover band. I can't imagine I would have an opinion on that. Breakfast tacos. Pizza for breakfast. So around here we have a tradition of, if we order pizza the night before, we try to make sure there's leftovers because cold pizza the morning after does hit different. That's pretty good shit. But I don't think anything is open right now to deliver, honestly, other than grocery store. Oh fuck, speaking of that, I need to order groceries. Sorry, I need to I gotta make myself a note of a million goddamn things I need to do today. Hold on. Write stuff down. Groceries. Write that down. Put it on my screen so I don't forget. Put it right there. Yep, that'll do. Pocketry is probably not getting a sequel. I'm not gonna wager on it because I know how you guys bully me, but it's one of those concepts, the pocketry concept, and again, that one came about because of you guys over on Twitch pushing very hard for something that you thought was cute, and you were right, it turned out cute, but it's one of those things that as you start to scratch the surface a little bit, start to delve into the world building a little bit, start to unpack the ramifications and the implications of the pocketry universe, you start to find some problematic things that I don't want to have to deal with. I don't want to have to unpack that shit. So, you know, some things are better as a one-off because then you can't examine them too closely. Help me write my grocery. You don't need to help me write my grocery. I know what it is. We have a whiteboard in the kitchen. Every time we get low on something, I write it on a whiteboard. Domino's. Yes, we do have Domino's in Australia. It's mid. It's not great. The pizza place we order from is like a, what's the word? Like a wood-fired pizza joint, I guess. I guess that's what it's called, wood-fired. Yeah, it's better. It's higher quality. Fud, thank you so much for the super chat. Fuzz stumps. No, the fuzz stumps were cute. I might expand on the fuzz stump story a little bit. That was another one that you guys were clever with. Pocketry shirts. I will do that, actually. I'm working on building out the merch selections and things like that. We will do a pocketry shirt. I promise. I can't imagine anyone would actually buy it. That's a weird thing to wear, but I will do the shirt. I'm sorry. Thane, thank you so much for the super chat. Good night. Sleep well. Pocketry is something that the patrons and the Twitch subs came up with. I think it started with Muff's art, didn't it? Didn't Muff draw the picture of? Because people like to make fun of me for being short when I'm not actually short. I'm 5'5". I'm very average, but everybody else seems to be taller. So they kind of joked that I could fit in a pocket. They started making art for it. They started pushing for a story about it, and I ended up doing a pocketry audio. It's on the channel. It's out there. Please feel free to check that out, I guess. Have a good one, John Wick. Absolutely buy a pocketry shirt. Oh man, you guys need to work on your fashion sense if you'd wear pocketry shirts. I'm not that short. Is the demon girl? Which demon girl? You have to be more specific. The recent one with the summoning circle. You have to talk to Vod about that. That one was a Vod suggestion. Vod is one of my Olympian patrons, which means that every month we spend half an hour on the phone together talking out story ideas and what would make a good script. And then I take the idea I like the best and I go write a script about it. So that is basically how that works. I still don't ever accept like scripts or written by other people. I've still never done that, except for that very brief stint I did with NSFW content. But the Olympians get to come up with ideas and talk it through with me to get to a place that logistically and practically would make a good audio. So yeah, the Villainous for Hire, that's another good one. Going to sleep, have a good one, sleep well. I'm not small. My merch is comfy. Yeah, it's fine. I like the Arkham Apparel stuff better, which is why I'm looking forward to moving all my stuff over to that platform. I think the quality's a little better, the comfort's a little better, but the stuff I have is fine. It's definitely the best I could do on my own. So watch for that. I'll aim for that. I'm hoping by June I can get the stuff launched on the new platform. I've got some new designs. Yeah. And if there's specific merch that you guys want, if there's things like if you want mouse pads, if you want mugs, if you want, whatever, definitely let me know. That's how I make sure that I make the things that you guys like, is when you tell me what you like. Like, just, it seems obvious, but you'd be surprised. So, No, 5'5" is above average for an American woman. Average in America is 5'4" for women. Average in Australia is 5'5" for women. So I'm right there on the average, but everybody else apparently is taller. So villainous or witch wife? Yeah, those are both good. I like witch wife. She's kind of a lot like how I actually am, honestly. Like, I'm not quite that dommy, I guess, but like I can, if someone like I care about is sick or tired or otherwise in need of some care, I will be stern about administering it if I need to. A marshmallowy, ew. American women are minuscule. What math are you doing, Alistair? Jesus. Plushies would be fun. I would love to do plushies. The thing about plushies, though, is that generally they're a pain in the ass because they have to be custom made. So if you're going to do them like in bulk, you have to sort of do that thing where people are like, okay, how many people would actually order this, or how many pre-orders can we get? And they won't actually start the manufacturing process until you get like 300 pre-orders or some shit. Either that or I have to order them all myself, keep the inventory, and then ship them myself, which from Australia is not advisable. Like, it's even just like the Patreon postcards usually cost, like from the United States, the international stamp was like $1.20, so I could send a postcard or a letter, anything for $1.20 almost anywhere in the world. Here it's like $3.70 Australian, which ends up being like 2 something American, so it's like double. So Super K, thank you so much for the super chat. Apologies, you're not late. Everybody else was just really early. I bullied Lupus for days now. He's getting better. He's on the tail end. He's just in that phase. You know how it is when you're like sick, and then as you get better, the symptoms go away, but you're just tired. You know, your body just wears out faster. You do something simple like walk across the room and you're like, why am I so tired? It's like that. That's where he is, which is good. I seem like a sweet lady to chat with. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I'm sweet most of the time. I'm a little less sweet on Twitch when I'm in a mood or if I'm playing something that's pissing me off, but you know, it is what it is. If you like that sort of, if you like this sort of thing, definitely follow me on Twitch because we do this a lot. We just kind of hang out and talk as I play some things, some games. Yeah, VOD's getting over a bug too. Hope you feel better soon, man. Does Australia call the USA up over? No. No. No, they embrace the down under thing. Australia is interesting. There's little things that just make me kind of, I just wonder why. Like, so Australia is very self-contained in a lot of ways. They do a lot of their own agriculture, a lot of their own farming and ranching and stuff, because importing here is fraught because this is a very specific ecosystem and they are very protective of it, and they've had issues in the past with invasive species and things like that. So like when you enter the country, you can't bring in any sort of plant life, you can't bring in any seeds or nuts or anything like that. You can't bring in like dairy or meat. You can't bring in soil from like other farms in other parts of the world. If it's on your shoes, you have to clean them, things like that. They're very, very particular. So, which, you know, with good reason. It's an island, and if something shows up that shouldn't be here and takes over, everything's kind of fucked. So, that said, the locally grown like produce and meat and stuff is very good. But there are certain things that I'm just sort of surprised they haven't embraced yet. Like, and I've talked about this before, guys, so I apologize if you come to my Twitch streams a lot and you've heard me have this conversation. But like pressurized canned dough, like crescent roll dough and cinnamon roll dough, not a thing here. If you want dough, you have to literally make it from scratch, which we've done. We actually made pizza dough in the bread maker a week or two ago. It was okay. But yeah, no pressurized canned dough. And I'm like, but that's such a simple, like, that's one of those things that really should exist. Like, you know, it's dough. Like, come on. So, Yeah, that, and also like the refrigerators with the water dispensers in the doors. We have a refrigerator with a water dispenser in the door, but it is not plumbed. The water dispenser doesn't connect to any sort of actual pipe or tube. It's literally a bin inside the door full of water that we have to refill ourselves as it gets low, and then it dispenses from that. So I have a pitcher that I've used to fill the bin of water in the fridge that is then dispensed through the water dispenser. It just baffles me. I'm like, why do they not just plumb this? It's just so strange. Okay, let me scroll back up. Speaking hypothetically, what imagine a Sissy plushie would look like? Probably just like a little chibi version of my, myself, honestly, with the brown hair and the green eyes, but also like maybe a little like leather jacket. She'd be kind of cute. You forget how chill my voice is. It do be. Have you found Steve yet? No. And when I asked Lupus, he said he was surprised I didn't stumble on him the other day. So I must have been close doing something and then didn't, which happens a lot. My situational awareness is terrible. I get very tunnel vision-y and I don't see things. So, and I always ask, I get like one question I can ask about where Steve is. And I always ask if he's in the pantry. And Lupus thinks that's a wasted question. But I think it's a valid question because our pantry is very full of stuff and there's a million places you could hide something in there. And yeah, it's absolutely a valid question. Whitewoods, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. It's very sweet of you. I break any controllers yet? No. I still have my controller, it's fine. We actually just got a new wireless one. We're trying to make like game stuff work on the TV. It's not as easy as I thought, but what gave me the cute idea of the intro and the videos? I wanted an intro, just a little something, as the audios start. So I went out to Fiverr, found an artist I liked. They made it, and then I found the music and did the set the GIF to the music because it was just basically a soundless little video to start with. So it took me a while to find the music I liked, but I think it worked out okay. What is the Australian attitude towards Americans? All right, that varies depending on who you ask. There is a lot of American culture here. We have a Costco. I love Costco so much. I've gotten Lupus and his family kind of hooked on Costco. It's lovely, and it's the only place so far that I found that has American-style hot dogs. So I'm absolutely there for that. But there's a lot of people here who are very not anti-American, but just sort of, they don't want to see that culture seep into their consciousness. They don't want to become too Americanized here. They don't like a lot of the political and socioeconomic issues in America. They don't want any of that to trickle down over to them. So some people will just sort of knee-jerk, oh, if it's American, I don't want it, kind of thing. Other people are a little more nuanced. Obviously a lot of the media that is produced comes out of America. A lot of the movies and TV shows that people here love are American. But that's just sort of accepted when you go anywhere else. I mean, that was the case when I lived in the UK too. Like, there's a lot of our culture that's just part of other people's consciousness because we are the predominant exporters of media to a lot of markets. So, but that said, like, they understand us better than we understand them, I guess, because we don't usually get the reverse. We don't get a lot of imports of other countries. Like we do, I mean, there's a pretty strong, like, British humor, British media, like that has infiltrated the States pretty effectively, but still pretty niche. It's not as widespread as our stuff is around the world. So, I mean, I've got friends here who super love the show Friends, and I'm like, really? That's a pretty quintessential American show, but yeah, they love it. So, yeah, it's really a case by case on what people think of Americans. I am tolerated. People seem to like me. So, Self-made dough is best dough. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Imagine getting pulled aside by the TSA about dirt under your shoe. Wouldn't be the TSA. You'd get all the way to the Australian border, and Border Control would pull you aside. And but they warn you. They tell you well in advance of all the things they're looking for, and dirt on your shoes is one of those things. They ask you to basically check that because it's something people forget about. Like if you go to a foreign country and you're walking around in the rural areas and you're on farms and stuff, you could inadvertently be stuffing your shoes full of fungus and parasites and things that should not be transported to different countries. So Marketable Plushie. Vod, thank you for the super chat. Did I thank you for that already? Did I miss it? And Juno, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll back to make sure I didn't miss anything important. Introducing the mongoose. Yeah. Introducing anything. We do have feral camels here. That's kind of fun. Not in my part of Australia, but, you know, in other parts. Feral camels are a thing. Australia is a first world country. Yeah. Australia is very modern in a lot of ways, but also just very, like, to me it feels like a mesh between the United States and the UK. Like there, and which is basically it is. I mean, let's face it. But culturally that's kind of how it feels. And I like it. I like it for that reason. I liked the UK when I lived there, but it did feel a little more foreign than this. And that's not a bad thing. I very much liked the UK's vibe and the charm of it, the history of it, and all that stuff. I would have been happy to stay there, except the weather wasn't, you know, super great. But this feels a little more, I don't know. I don't like the idea of go someplace else, but have it be as much as, you know, as much as possible like the place you came from. Because that feels like pointless. Like if you're going to be somewhere else, you want that other culture. And there's a lot of it. I have learned how Australian football works, which actually the season opens tomorrow, you guys. Our local team plays tomorrow. Not here, though. They're playing away, so I can't go see, but might try to find a way to watch it. So Australian rules football, I have what we call footy. I am fully into now. The cricket, I've been to cricket matches. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying, though. I'm really trying. Cricket's very, very strange. But I'm trying. So. Do the thing, break Halo. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do. So you want me to do, like, the thing. Happy birthday, thank you. Happy birthday and thanks for the Friends to Lovers audios. Yeah, those are fun. And we've talked about this before, but again, there's new people here, so I will reiterate. I know my Friends to Lovers audios are not... They're not as, like, fantasy wish fulfillment as some. Like, I'm never gonna do just, like, an 8-minute audio that starts with, hey, friend, how are you? And ends with, oh my god, I've always loved you, let's be together forever. Like, I don't like the word forever. I'm not a big fan of that. And you guys know I take a more practical approach to relationships. I like things to be realistic. I like things to have that vibe of something that could actually happen, which I realize is not wish fulfillment, really. It's not the escape necessarily from real life that it could be, but, you know, it still is to a point, and I can't write it any other way. I can't write a Friends to Lovers that to me is not how something would play out. You know, it has to play out in a way that makes sense in my head or I can't write it. And again, that's why they frequently end with let's just see how this goes. Because in real life, that's how it would happen. If you got together with somebody you've been friends with for a long time, that's how it should be. That's the strat. Let's just see how it goes, you know? Because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to shake out. But it's going to be fun. Let's find out, you know? Like, that's really kind of it. And I realize that I might shoot myself a little bit in the foot by not jumping into these extremely unlikely, you know, fantasy scenarios with these things, but I can't write it. It feels wrong. It feels wrong in my head to write stuff like that. I don't know. And it's not like I'm on some crusade to model healthy and appropriate relationships across the board. Like I do my best to do some of that in the more feels-based audios, but you know, it's not a crusade for me. It's just, I just can't do it any other way. So. Australia's British Texas. That's not entirely wrong. Am I living in Australia for job reasons or for travel? A lot of reasons. I'm in Australia. The TLDR is that I was not comfortable or happy living in Florida, where I had lived for a while. I'm born and raised in the United States, not Florida. I was born in St. Louis, but I've lived in several places in the United States, trying out different places, trying to see what felt the best. And for a lot of reasons, Florida was not feeling great anymore. And then on top of that, the cost of living was going apeshit. And I started, looking at other places that maybe I could be comfortable. Ended up in the UK for about 6 months. Super liked that. That was a good place. If I was going to stay longer than 6 months, I needed to find a job there, which I did try to do, but because I would have had to be on a work visa, it generally, I was one of those things where, oh, we really like you. Oh, but this other person is just a little bit, it's like, yeah, okay. I get it. The work visa thing is a very complicated, pain in the ass process for everybody involved. And if they can hire somebody who doesn't need one, that's preferable. Plus they only get so many, companies, in the UK only get so many work visas to give out. So they generally save them for, very specific tech type jobs and things like that. So unfortunately, with my background in corporate marketing and communications, that's not something they can't fill domestically. That's a pretty common career path. So I had to leave the UK and came back to the States for a few months, tried to figure out what my next steps were, and started talking to friends here in Australia who basically were in a similar situation where it's everybody had something to gain. It was better financially, roommates, split costs, that's great. Feels safer here. It's a really good vibe here. And when I say feel safer, there's a lot of things I'm talking about there, but as for me personally, to give an example, there was an ex of mine who stalked me a long time ago, years ago, and I thought was pretty much gone. I was no longer living in the same state as him, things like that. And literally 2 months before I moved here to Australia, he tried to connect with me on LinkedIn. Out of the blue, just popped up on LinkedIn. And it's what the fuck? A, go away, you fucking crazy stalker. And B, I need to get out of here. It's hard to feel safe when people can just kind of find you. And it's very unlikely for anybody to drop in on me in Australia, let's say. So there's that. And then, like I said, I really like it here. I visited, I felt pretty good about it. I like the vibe. It feels very homey. It feels very familiar, but also not. The things that are different are a fun kind of different. They're comfortable. They're sometimes infuriating, but in a fun way. And plus, I said, the people that I'm here with are lovely, lovely people. Sweet and wonderful people that I'm so, so grateful to know. So for all of those reasons, it feels good to be here. And because this is my job, doing these audios and streaming and stuff, I can do it from anywhere. So that is what I'm doing. Now, that said, I don't know, some of you guys are going to know this already, but the process for me to stay here, I'm currently here on a student visa because I spoke with some immigration attorneys before I moved here to be okay, what's a good path to be there? And I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to make it a permanent move, because, just take your time and see how things feel. So they suggested a student visa because if I don't qualify for a work visa because, again, this is my job and I can't get a visa to do this. And even if I quit doing this entirely and try to get a different job, they don't really give visas again for things like marketing. They do it for things like healthcare and tech stuff. So not really an option. So I'm on a student visa, and it seemed like a good way to be able to spend a little time here to see how it feels, things like that. The outcome of that is that I do like it here and I do want to stay. But the student visa is not a path to do that. Student visas are designed for you to come, get an education, and then leave. They actually ask you in the application process how you intend to take the education that you get and take it back to your home country and apply it. They want to know how you plan to do that. And I think in part that's because student visas are prone to people just sort of not leaving. It's an overstay risk. Not for me specifically, because the US is not a risky country for that, but in other cases. So the student visa is not designed to be a path to citizenship. It is just a hang out, see how things are, go back kind of thing, which is fine. But now that I know, plus the other side of it is that the courses that I'm taking are not cheap. They're actually pretty freaking expensive, surprisingly. And also they take up a great deal of my time. Because I am on a visa, I have to actually be on campus for 20 hours a week, which is a lot. It's like a part-time job. And that, of course, cuts into my ability to do this job and make audios and stream and stuff like that. So I've been trying to balance that for a couple of months now, and it's been a lot. It's been stressful trying to, I have to take the train into city every day, or not every day, but 3 days a week for school, and, take the train back. It's a big time suck. It's exhausting, and some of these classes, they're not bad, but I'm not really getting out of them what I'd hoped to get out of them. I'm trying to expand a little bit of my graphic design skills because that's one of the areas that I'm a little weak in with my marketing stuff. Because traditionally in the places that I've worked, when I do have a corporate job, there's a separate person for the graphic design stuff. Like my stuff was always content creation, like words, laying out things like brochures and pamphlets and whatnot. A lot of desktop publishing, not so much graphic design. So that is something I thought, I can work on that. I can expand those skills. It's okay. It's nothing I couldn't have learned from a YouTube tutorial. And honestly, some of these teachers literally just show YouTube tutorials in class. And it's like, that's helpful. I'm so glad I'm here for this. But because I'm on a visa, I am required to be on campus. I can't just phone these classes in or, do them at home or whatever. I had to be physically present. And it is taking a toll. And on top of that, knowing that I can't even stay if I stay on this visa has been very stressful, because I would like to stay. So I talked this out with friends. I talked to some other immigration attorneys, a few of them actually. We've had a lot of conversations about the best paths forward and things like that. We do have a path forward now. I am working on getting a more permanent visa. The problem is it's going to be expensive, and that is frustrating, and I can't start the process until end of August of this year because of how long I've currently been in the country and how much longer I need to be in the country to start this process. So, Vod, lovely Vod, who's here in the chat, set up a GoFundMe for me to raise the funds we're going to need to make this thing work, to switch me off the student visa and start the process of applying for the more permanent one. It's expensive in part because it is designed to be a permanent thing. You're only meant to do it the one time, and then you live here, and that makes sense. And of course it's going to be expensive. They don't want to make it easy for people. No country seems to want to make it easy for people to do stuff like this. And of course then the attorney's fees on top of that, which is stupid expensive too. But I get it. I get why. So, all that to say, the GoFundMe exists. I'm working on being comfortable with it. It's not something I feel... I don't want to get into my feelings about it. I'm trying to accept and trust that people do want to help because this is kind of where my life is now. I've built a life here. We have a house. We rented a house. It's a really nice house. We've, furnished it. If I have to leave here, I can't take any of that with me because it's too expensive to move it. So, this is basically just trying to live the life that I have built in a way that, and if we had known, going in that it was going to be like this massive expense was going to come up with this particular visa, we, maybe would have made different choices, but we didn't know. Like we were using the information we had from the lawyers we had spoken to. We were trying to make choices without jumping to any sort of, rash decisions or anything. And so here we are, and we decided to start the GoFundMe now because it's like 6 months out of where we're going to need it. So it felt like, we're trying to be very proactive, trying to get ducks in a row, trying to plan way ahead, trying to, I'm very much a planner. I'm a list maker, I'm a planner. I don't like not having control over situations. This whole thing makes me twitchy. But the long and short of it is, this is my life, this is where I want to be. And I feel like we've worked pretty hard to be here and to stay here. And, yeah, so that's that. If for some reason it doesn't work out, if we can't get the funds raised or whatever, I will have to go back to the States. At that point, I will probably have to get a regular job again because the cost of living in the States is significantly higher than it is here, at least for things like rent. And at that point, I probably won't be able to do the channel anymore, which breaks my heart because I love doing this job. I love doing this for you guys. I love creating content that you guys like. But, I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, if I have to go back to full-time corporate, that's where my attention's going to have to be. And I'm, assuming that I would be able to find something. But, yeah, so that's the full disclosure on that whole process. It's made my stomach a little queasy to talk about, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, that's where we are. So, that's going on, but it's gonna be going on for a while. This is an ongoing process. We're trying, like I said, we're trying to plan ahead and start it very early for that reason. I don't ever want to be in a position where it's like anything is desperate or scary or whatever. And you know what? If it doesn't work out and everything kind of shuts down, that's okay. Nobody's going to die. This is not life or death. So, but yeah, that's the full disclosure on what's going on with that as far as my journey and my presence in Australia and my desire to stay in Australia and, make a go of it here because I like it here a lot more than I thought I would. And if I didn't have to do the school stuff, because it's such a time suck, and I could just focus on this, like, I have so many ideas. There's so many things I want to do, and there's so many things I want to make. And also, for that matter, like, I miss having a dog, you guys. Like, we can't have one in this house because it's a rental and the owners don't want that. But I did find a shelter that I could volunteer because you guys have been here a long time. I used to volunteer before COVID. I volunteered at a shelter for a couple of years where I could go and like walk the dogs and like play with them, socialize them. And I would just go down the line and I would get each dog out one at a time and walk them for like 20 or 30 minutes and let them run around and then take them back in. And if we had a lot of dogs, that would sometimes take me all day to do. And you'd just be disgusting at the end of the day, like you'd be wrecked. But it was so worth it. And I loved that volunteer gig. Like, it was exhausting, but it was so worth it. And I would like take pictures of the dogs and post them to the Discord and stuff. And I missed that a lot. So I found a shelter here that it looks like I might be able to do that at. Like, they do accept volunteers for things like playing with the dogs and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. And I've decided that if we make this visa thing work and I can actually stay here without having to be a student, then yeah, I'm gonna try and volunteer there and see if I can get back into that kind of thing. Because man, I miss it. I really, really miss it. So yeah, there's that. Stay in Australia. All right, hold on. Let me scroll back up because I was talking a lot and not looking at the chat. Oh man, I scroll up very, very far. Prefer more realistic audios. Yeah, me too. I find it more grounding and more like, and that's not to say I don't like fantasy content, because of course I do. But when's the last time I had a lazy week for myself? Oh God. I did take a couple of weeks off last April. That was the last time. And it felt weird. I still checked the Discord and stuff like that. I still checked email, but I didn't do any recording and I didn't do any streaming in that time. It was nice. It was a good time. I was ready to be back to work though at the end of it. Like I wanted to. So I'd like to do that again eventually, but that's really not on my radar right now. Like taking a break is not something I am thinking about. It's more about planning for the future and staying on top of things, making sure that, you know, all the balls we all have in the air, making sure none of those hit the ground, or if they do, they're plastic. I see a JoJo in the chat. I love JoJo. I made a thing for JoJo this morning. Anything in the news that's absurd starts with the headline Florida. Yeah, so that has to do with Florida's sunshine laws. Every state has different sunshine laws as far as the access that journalists get to things like police records, police blotters, things like that. Florida has extremely open sunshine laws, so any idiot thing that anybody does where the police have been called, journalists can get that information and write a story about it. So Florida man throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window, abso-fucking-lutely you're gonna see that in the news because that shit's public. Like, all of that's out there. So, happy St. Patty's Day. Thank you. Do I prefer big city life or rural life? In between. I don't like being in the city, like downtown, like that kind of vibe all the time. I wouldn't be able to live in that. But I like to be near enough to the city that I can get there easily. I can experience the city things without having to be in the thick of it. And then I can go home to a slightly quieter space. So kind of suburban, I guess. I like where I am now. I'm about a 20-minute train ride from downtown. I literally have to go into downtown to get to school. So I walk to the train station, which is about a 20-25 minute walk in the mornings. And then I ride the train for another 20-25 minutes. And then I walk another 10 to 15 minutes to campus. So I get to be the person getting off the train and going with this horde of other people up the escalator to get to their different jobs and stuff, and everybody's going different directions, and it's very, very busy and bustling, and you get that very urban feel. And at the end of the day, I get to get off the train and go home to my quiet house. So yeah, it's a good vibe. Why LinkedIn? That's such a great question. Why LinkedIn? Why do people find you on LinkedIn? LinkedIn's become this weird mix of like Facebook and Tinder, but for awkward professionals. I don't even go on it anymore. Like, if I hadn't gotten the alert, I wouldn't have even known that he was there. Because, like, it hasn't really done me any favors. It's never been that useful. I know some people use it, for good and actually manage to connect and stuff through it. I've got friends who are constantly on LinkedIn, but it just feels very, feels very gross now. College me from one of college me? I mean, you're hearing it. and this is really, I'm not really in college. This is not a college thing. This is like an extended, like, continuing education more of thing. Because I have a bachelor's degree in journalism and psychology, and I have some master's degree work that I never finished because I moved out of Florida. But I have a lot of training and education and stuff like that. It's just none of it was specific to graphic design. So, and none of it was specific to broadcast either. In fact, when I was in J school, I avoided the broadcast floor, like the floor that had the radio station and the TV station, all that shit on it. I didn't go up there. My roommate was a broadcast major. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was a print major. I like to write, and I like to put things looking really pretty, laying that out really pretty, making articles look nice. I was an editor for the school paper. I didn't want anything to do with this talky shit. I don't know how I got here. Does Australia celebrate Halloween? Okay, this is another one that's kind of fraught. That is a very American thing. So a lot of people in Australia don't, on principle. They don't have anything to do with Halloween. That said, where we live, in this incredibly charming, fairly new residential development full of parks and children and pets, yeah, Halloween was a thing. We were in this house already, like for a couple of months when Halloween hit. And so we tentatively, we put out a skeleton and a pumpkin. I carved a pumpkin. I got a hold of a carving pumpkin and I carved it, which turned out to be unique. Nobody else did that. We had people coming to our house just to get real close and like touch the carved pumpkin because they hadn't ever seen one before, which I thought was weird because that seems like such an easy thing. This is one of the things that's like, why don't you carve the pumpkin? If you do Halloween, why don't you carve pumpkins? This is just a normal Halloween thing to do. And yet that part hadn't really translated to Australian culture yet. We had, the neighborhood had literally hundreds of trick-or-treaters. Like, there were kids swarming. So they were absolutely embraced that. And to our house, I want to say we probably had 100, give or take. So not bad. Not as many as I used to get. But yeah, not bad. We had candy, just in case. We were ready. And we didn't run out, so that's good. The weird thing though, like, you know how in the States, like on Halloween, you come home from school, you do your homework, you eat your dinner, you put on your costume, and then you go out trick-or-treating right around the time the sun's going down? They did not do that here. Here they started going out at like 4. They got home from school and they immediately started trick-or-treating, which to me seemed excessive. That seemed really early. And they basically wanted to be done before the sun went down. Like, they were all off the streets before dark. And I was like, nah, they're doing it wrong. You guys are doing it wrong. Like, first of all, you gotta let people get home from work so they can give out candy, right? And like, some kids can't, like, they go right from school to like an after school program because their parents are working, so they can't participate. So no, you have to wait till after dinner. This is tradition. I'm sitting here like being the angry American, like, you're doing it wrong. But no, it was fine. We still had, it was a really big deal. But there were things about it that made me go, what the fuck? Why are you guys doing this? So. What are my plans for the channel birthday? I don't know. That's still 6 months out. Do you think I have any idea what's going on in 6 months? Like, right now, that's like the ephemeral space of the visa stuff that I'm looking to get into. So, yeah, no idea. No idea. Oh, and if you guys want a link to the GoFundMe, I have been putting it in the description of the audios. The last few audios, I think, have it. 90% sure it's there. It's also on my Twitter. I have a pinned tweet on my Twitter at the very top of my, Twitter profile that's got links to all of my shit. It's got my Patreon, it's got my Twitch, it's got my GoFundMe, it's got my commissions, if you guys like commissions, that kind of thing. Like, all of that stuff is there, and it's all available on one tweet. So easy links. Oh, the art student and model one. That's a fun one. Let's see. I think I'll be a proper Aussie one day. So I'm learning. I did get my Weet-Bix initiation the other day. Apparently that is a requirement. We did that. I had my Weet-Bix. I've decided I'm a two Weet-Bix person with sugar. Yeah. Lupus is more of like 3 Weet-Bix with honey. Yeah, agree to disagree. Eat peanut butter is good for the butterflies. I do call McDonald's Macca's. Fod, oh my god. Thank you so much. They are adorable. Thank you so much. Jesus. Those really are cute though. Like, we don't get the fun emotes like we get over on Twitch, but we do get, like, YouTube's trying. They're trying to make things cute. All right, hold on. Scrolling back up. I'm very delayed. I've been talking and the chat has been moving without me. So, where are we? All right, there we go. I'm never gonna love Vegemite. Never, ever gonna love Vegemite. Also, hey Mages, and thank you. Always be the PR rep for your farm. Organic free range eggs. I'm like on or off about eggs. I keep them around, but I hardly ever eat them. On a more positive note, happy birthday. Thank you. Sunshine laws. Yes, sunshine laws are a thing. Am I reading YouTube chat or Twitch chat? Is there a Twitch chat? There shouldn't be a Twitch chat. I'm not live on Twitch, am I? No. I'm not live on Twitch, right? I just checked. I don't appear to be live. OBS can't do that. That's witchcraft. Yeah, I'm not live on Twitch. I'm only live here with you guys right now on YouTube. No one in the chat is called JoJo. Yes, she is. If you scroll back up, JoJo is here. She's a hedgehog. Okay. All right, hold on. Yeah, I'm delayed. Let's see. Greetings from Germany. Thank you. Yeah, kids are an easy sell for Halloween because it is free candy. You just go door to door and people just hand you candy. And we already had like the middle school boys who decided, fuck it, I'm not going to wear a costume, just give me candy. Like, they have embraced so much American culture. I'm so proud of them. Like, that's lovely. I did not carve an Urban Nymph audio logo. I carved a face. I didn't have like a pumpkin carving thing. I'd use a regular knife, and I didn't want to cut myself, so I carved a regular face, which still managed to impress the shit out of people. I'm not sure why. Pretty sure I took a picture. I can't remember though. Okay, getting through the Halloween stuff. Hell yeah. Where am I? Nice to see more March people. So many March people. Indo's here. Thanks, Indo. Guaranteed to be hungry and want tacos. That's not wrong. I need to figure out. We had tacos the other day. On Taco Tuesday. I gotta get groceries, you guys. You didn't know I lived in Criminal and Spiderland? Yeah. Although the people I associate with are all like first generation Australians whose parents came from the UK, so I guess they're not criminals yet. Secretly Twitch streaming. God, I hope not. The letters I'm putting under your door. Please don't put letters under my door. Jesus. Twitch chat is live all the time and I can do bits and I don't do what? Guys, hold on. Let me open my Twitch chat to see what kind of trouble you are getting up to. Let's see. No! You can't start a hype train when I'm not live. What is wrong with you people? What? No! You can't. I'm not live right now. That shouldn't work. How does that work? Twitch, why? What? That's a thing? What's wrong with you people? So Stream Elements isn't reacting because it's not connected, because Stream Elements is busy over here with me and YouTube, but the Twitch chat's popping off for whatever reason. So there's no alerts, there's no like on screen anything. What the hell? How does Twitch let you do a hype train when you're not live? How? That feels broken to me. That feels like you can just like you can get a group of friends together and just go give somebody a hype train when they haven't been online in like a week. That's a thing? Oh, that sounds like a flaw. That sounds like a massive design flaw. Use Scuff. I've used Scuff for a long time, to be fair. Doing this job for as long as I have, because this is now 3.5 years of the audios and nearly 3 years of Twitch. I'm surrounded by non-Americans. Like, most of my friends are probably not American if I actually sat down and tried to add it up. Guys, stop it. I can see you. I've got Twitch open. I can see you. Stop it. We're having a nice conversation on YouTube today. This is YouTube day. I only do this twice a year. I do, however, have some Aussie slang. I say macas from McDonald's, which I think started here, although it's kind of spreading. I say posty for the mailman. I say toasty for a grilled cheese now. It's just easier. There was a lot of that. When I first moved in, there was a lot of that sort of explaining phrasing and stuff like that. I've gotten, it gets to that point where it kind of seeps into your consciousness and you don't realize you're doing it until somebody else points it out and you're like, oh, I guess I did just say that. Like you don't realize. So yeah, it's fun. I don't think I'm fully assimilated. I don't think I'm fully, like, there's still things that I'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? And when I hear somebody with a very strong Australian accent speaking very quickly, I cannot understand them. Like, there's comedians here that will watch, and I laugh when the people around me are laughing because I don't fucking know what was said. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm trying, though. I'm trying really hard. Guys, stop it. Stop it. Thank you for the bits and subs. Now stop it. You guys can't have your own party. I'm not even invited to this one. Any plans for a Giantess audio? Not right now. That's one of those things that if inspiration hits, I definitely will. I've really kind of never vibed with Giantess. Like, there's certain things that I have a hard time kind of getting myself into the headspace for, and if I can't get myself into the headspace, it's going to be hard to write, you know? Like, I have to feel that vibe. Werewolf audios are another one. Like, I'm okay with writing them when the listener is the werewolf, but I'm pretty sure I'll never be able to play one. Like, I can't quite get myself into that headspace. So yeah, some things not so much. I still see you guys. That's right, you enjoy those emotes. You have fun over there. Anyway, where was I? Happy birthday from Scotland. Thank you. Yeah, offline hype should really not be a thing. Design flaw, how dare you? Look, I do appreciate you guys, I really do. And I do appreciate the follows. Welcome to the Twitch family. We do have fun most of the time. I do like streaming. When I first started streaming, I was pretty nervous about it because, you know, everything I do in the audios is very scripted and very controlled. And you guys know me, I like control. I like having control over things and situations. And yeah, so being live, I was terrified that I was going to fuck something up or say something that was just incredibly canceling or something. Oh my God, you guys. All of you are in timeout. Oh, if you could see my face right now. Anyway, yeah, I ended up liking it a lot. I ended up liking streaming a lot, being able to interact directly with you guys, being able to like respond to the chat and, you know, do the things that you guys want me to do, like in real time, like play the games you guys want me to play and stuff. Like, that's fun. It turned out to be so much more fun and more engaging because as much as I love doing the audios, and I love doing the audios, it's the best part. It's very much in a vacuum. You know, I write the scripts, I record the scripts, I edit everything, I upload it. The closest interaction I get is the comments, but it's not dynamic, it's not real time. It's very isolating as a job. You know, VAs are very much in silos. We don't like, it's not like an RP situation or a, you know, VR chat kind of thing where everybody's interacting with each other. This is a very quiet space where everybody records in their own closets or recording booths and then exchanges audio files if it's a collab. Holy shit. Guys. I feel like I shouldn't be having to babysit you bastards. And I say that with much love. I'm just sitting here like, how is Twitch allowing this? I wonder if anybody at Twitch is like, what is going on over there? Like, that channel's not live. What the fuck? Okay. Oh. Am I stalling out? No, I haven't dropped any frames. Okay, guess we're good. That's just my signal dropped a little bit there. Anyway, so yeah, as much as I like doing the audios, and I very much do, it's fun to be able to interact with you guys directly and dynamically because this is a pretty lonely gig. Like, doing audios can be a very lonely gig, and I've also recently gotten into D&D. Sandwich, I'm gonna murder you. I'm gonna find you and murder you. I've gotten into D&D. I've played two. I wouldn't call them well, I guess they're campaigns, little baby one-offs. I'm enjoying it so far. That's the most, like, I've never really like RP'd with people before, and that, to be fair, is not like you're not in character the whole time, and I'm still learning the mechanics and stuff like that. But I'm enjoying it. I haven't really ever, like, I've been exposed to the community, but I haven't really ever tried it before, so I'm having fun. CZB, thank you for the super chat. There's no happy birthday sticker. YouTube, really? Twitch is over here letting people have hype trains offline, and YouTube can't even get a birthday sticker going? Jesus. Okay, where was I? Did they use Bubbler over there? I don't know. It's a good question. Let's see. I'm Urban Nymph of Borg. I mean, I am a massive Star Trek geek. Also, oh god, I wish I could talk about Picard. I'm not going to because spoilers, but holy shit, you guys, this season is going so hard. I cried yesterday. Ugh. Yeah, okay. Anyway, if you like Star Trek, if you're familiar with Picard, I strongly recommend this season. This fucker's gonna kill me though, it's only half over. Listening on YouTube, partying here. I see you guys. I see you, Halo. I see all of you. Janice, Vod, and Sir Morris. I see all of you. had the other window open. I have 2 monitors now because Lucas gave me one. Okay. Listener werewolf. There is a listener werewolf, Alistair. There's a couple of them actually. I made a little series out of it. It's not like it's a playlist. It's not its own playlist yet, but yes, listener werewolf is the thing. It's one of my favorite little twist ones actually, is the listener werewolf one. Werewolf that doesn't conform to conventional stereotypes. I mean, that is very much my style, isn't it? None of my characters conform to conventional stereotypes. Scuff the stream, let's catch. Jeb, I don't know what you're talking about with living in NA for $12K a year, but that is not how it works in most places. And being able to live is different. Like, I don't want to get into my actual finances because that's honestly nobody's business, but trust me when I say that I love spreadsheets. I crunch numbers ridiculously, and again, I really like to have control over things, so I am careful. I have so much math. I was actually a math elite in high school, which is pathetic, but yeah. And knowing what I'm doing is not the same thing as having things always go right. You know, there's always going to be unexpected expenses. There's always going to be, you know, emergencies happen, things like that. And in the United States, most people don't have like $400 saved for an emergency. Most people would be completely wrecked by one major medical bill or one, you know, flat tire or car trouble kind of thing. Like, most people are on a knife's edge. I'm not. I'm fortunate that I'm not on a knife's edge. But that doesn't mean that I'm in a position to afford a ridiculously expensive one-off cost for a visa / attorney's fees that come with that. So, yeah. And living in, I mean, I get very frustrated when people are like, well, just move to a cheaper part of the United States. Okay, well, the cheaper parts of the United States tend to be extremely isolated, and also just the act of moving is very expensive. If you've never done it, it's a lot just to get your things and pack them up and transport them somewhere. So, yeah. What the hell are you guys doing? Level 7? Oh, it's Sir Ramore again. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Why is my YouTube lagging out? You guys let me know if you see, like, bad lag, because I'm having issues with my connection all of a sudden. Which is not great. I still haven't dropped any frames, though, so I'm guessing everything's fine. Yeah, Wolfing Out. That's the name of the audio with the listener werewolf. One stream at a time. Yeah, one stream at a time. Any plans for more Elf Bandit? Yes. Yes, yes. That is season 2 continues with that. I'll put it that way. Let's see. You guys do bully me with love. Why is my stream feed lagging so badly? And you guys tell me if you see a bad lag or something, because I will need to address that. On my end, everything looks fine except that my own feed is lagging for some reason, but that's weird. Holodeck addiction is a thing. They had that whole Barkley episode about it. Jeb, if you get a little pushy in chat, I absolutely will ban your ass. I'm a nice person, but I don't like pushy. VOD? I've scrolled up, I've seen what I can. I'm not going to let this devolve into a conversation about finances and budgets and things like that. Everybody's situation is different. I try not to judge. I've worked with a lot of food pantries and local outreaches and stuff. We talked about that before in other streams. I just did that audio about it. Everybody's situation is different. And it's interesting and humbling what different positions can happen to you. And it's easy to judge. If you're in a position of not struggling, or you're in a position of having one particular experience that is your experience, that is what you are seeing things through. That is your perspective. That is not shared among other people. So please keep that in mind. Jesus Christ, kid. Why are you like this? Yeah. We're not gonna dig into that. That's some bullshit right there. I get very frustrated with people of limited experience trying to speak for entire populations. Makes me very cranky. Got him before you could. Yeah, I'm quick. He's only timed out though, so if he comes back with more bullshit, you may swing the hammer this time. Oh, is the hype train almost... No, VOD? Oh, but it's almost up. It's up. It's up. Yay! Thank you guys for the hype train. That should not have been possible while I'm not live. Jesus. I do have a hammer. Would I use the teleporter in Star Trek? Okay, so I do think that it... All right, so the whole, like, whether it destroys you and clones you or whether it deconstructs you and reassembles you, there's a lot of theories on that. That said, I would probably use it if it was very well established to be safe through many, many, many studies. Sandwich, there are no cabooses on the hype train. Now you can't get another one going for an hour. That's right, hype trains have a cooldown. Yay! You guys behave yourselves. Honestly, I'm genuinely sitting here like stunned that Twitch allows that. Can you redeem bad Russian accent on Twitch? And I'm not doing any accents. Oh my god. That's the dance monkey dance shit's over on Twitch. You guys want me to do stupid accents, then we'll do it there. We'll do it tomorrow. On my actual birthday. When we do something chill. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. The kindness is inevitable. That's what worries me. Shuttlecraft every time? I mean... like... I'm okay. Like, teleporter... And this is going to devolve, I'm not going to let this devolve into a massive philosophical conversation about the nature of consciousness and identity. But honestly, if you can feel like yourself after, like your memories are intact, your consciousness is intact, the other you is no longer there, is it not appropriate to just sort of see it as a hiccup in your existence that continues? You know, you continue on. Your cells are the same age. Your health problems continue. You know, whatever's going on with you. Your mood, exactly the same as when you entered. You come out the same way. So as far as the definition of who you are as a person, as a consciousness, as an entity, does it matter if you have been deconstructed and reconstructed? Does it matter if you've been destroyed and cloned? The outcome is the same. You, as an existence, are the same. Your experience is uninterrupted. So who cares? Hype train caboose. That's true. They do get money out of it, Vod. That's true. I honestly did not think of that. Like, all I was thinking of was, that's a weird mechanic. Why would they allow it? I didn't even think of the money side of it because I am dumb. You copy a person with a transport. Okay, so in theory, yes, because you have their pattern in the buffer. Like, that's their pattern. And that did happen to Will Riker / Tom, if you'll recall. And they continued to exist in the same universe in separate places as separate people with slightly different facial hair for, you know, clarity. Yeah, exactly. Will Riker and Tom Riker. So yes, you can copy a person with a transporter. Not advisable, though. Oh God, Chris, did you just spell Riker like the Third Reich? That kind of Riker? It's R-I-K-E-R. It's not, he's not German. He's from Alaska. All right, Tuvix, we don't talk about Tuvix. Jesus Christ, why would you say that? Yeah, replicators are yeah, it's, again, I don't want to get in the weeds on the philosophical matter, energy. Yeah, I don't want to. I just wish we had replicator technology. But then again, it might be a curse because I do crave cake more often than I should, and if I could just tell a box on the wall to make me cake, we would have a problem. We would have a real problem. Should play the game Soma. Getting to extent. Yeah, you guys tend to get me off the rails on philosophical bullshittery. And the recolas on Twitch are basically the channel points. You earn them for hanging out in the streams, basically. The longer you watch, the more channel points you get. And then you can redeem them for things like making me take a drink of water, or making me do a stupid voice for 5 minutes, or making me call you a goober. That's what those are for. I think if you're subscribed, you get more channel points faster. And I think if you're like the higher tier you subscribe, you get them even faster than that. So you can really rack them up. There's some people that I watch stream that I never actually redeem their channel points. I just sit on them. I think in Lupus's streams I have like 1.2 million channel points now because I just never redeem them. But yeah, that's what they're for. That's what the recolas are. Twitch lets you customize your channel points. So mine are tiny little Diet Cokes, basically. Okay. Their diet. They're always Diet Coke. Diet Coke is my water of choice. Didn't think we'd be getting all fills. This happens a lot. This happens a lot over on Twitch too. You guys will get me off in conversations about like the nature of the brain, or the nature of space, in which case I yank Halo into it, or the nature of, you know, whatever. Things like check your sources. Check the sources of your source. For example, look at someone like Nietzsche. If you're at all a fan of philosophy, if you've studied any Nietzsche at all, it's important to keep in mind that for a lot of creators, philosophers, thinkers of the past, things that were published posthumously were not necessarily things that they would have wanted published or that they curated. I believe in Nietzsche's case, it was his sister that published a bunch of stuff after his death and also destroyed a bunch of his stuff after his death that she didn't personally agree with, having to do with religion. So you have to be very careful. Even the things that you read with philosophers may not be what they actually believed, not entirely. It may not paint a full picture. You've got to actually go back and see, okay, well, when that person's stuff was published, was it them publishing it? Was it somebody publishing it on their behalf? And that also holds true for people that are still around but potentially manipulatable. So consider like Harper Lee with To Kill a Mockingbird. For a long time, that was the only thing she wrote. And everybody's familiar with To Kill a Mockingbird. And then a few years ago, out comes Go Set a Watchman. And Go Set a Watchman, she definitely wrote it. And she probably wrote it either concurrent to or even before To Kill a Mockingbird. But she never put it out there. And there's a lot of people that speculate that perhaps she was manipulated into putting it out there because she was getting very old and possibly not entirely in control of her faculties. Because Go Set a Watchman changes Atticus Finch drastically from the sort of like homey hero that everybody thought he was when we were reading that book as kids because it was through the eyes of a child. And Ghost at a Watchman is much more, I don't want to say cynical, but he's not a hero. You know, he's a guy trying to do a job. And it definitely changes your view of Atticus Finch. And again, she wrote it, so she probably intended that. But having released that book later in her life, and possibly not entirely wanting to, you know, like that's something to consider when you look at the content that is put out there on behalf of authors, thinkers, philosophers, creators, whether the whole picture is being painted, whether the whole story is being told, whether that information was ever intended to be out there, whether, you know, whether that was the authorial intent, I guess. So that's where we are. You guys are redeeming goobers? You're not allowed to go redeem goobers. No, stop it. All right, fine, Janice. Here, you get your first goober is an offline, completely out of the blue, not even on Twitch goober. I hope you're happy. I hope you're pleased, you goober. You gamed the system. Well done. Good job, you. You get no cookies. No cookies for you. Okay, where was I? All right, let me scroll back. Yes, recoils or diet. Diet Cokes are amazing. Although here I've been getting more into Coke no sugar or Coke Zero, because Diet Coke is just not as common here. Like the local McDonald's has stopped carrying Diet Coke. It has to be a Coke no sugar, which is fine. Yes, I'm familiar with the Harper Lee situation. Call the Wild Animal Farm. Oh God, Animal Farm. Oh shit. So, I think I told this story on stream before, but you guys are a different group, so I'm going to tell it again. So one of the classes I'm in right now is an InDesign class, which is hilarious because that's like the only program I used for a long time in corporate. So I'm very familiar with it, but I have to take it for this program, so I'm just sort of like skating through it. And they had us laying out some copy about, it was basically just like, it was practice copy. You're laying out a practice like book, kind of like, I think it was a magazine in this case. And the text we were using was from 1984 by George Orwell, which everybody, okay, raise your hand if you don't know what 1984 is. I feel like there is zero chance that there's anybody here who doesn't at least know what that is. You don't have to have read it, but you know what it is, right? You know what 1984 is. Like, it's such a famous book. It's such a, it's infiltrated our collective consciousness. The references to it are innumerable. It's everywhere. So yeah, you guys know what 1984 is. So we're laying out these mock-ups. We're doing our own little designs. And this woman in my class, and fucking God love her, she's a little bit older, but not too old. Like, nobody is alive that would not know what 1984 is. But anyway, so she's a mature student is what they call it. She's probably in her 30s. And she's very extroverted. She's very bubbly. She actually tried to pull me into her little group at one point and was asking me all kinds of questions about what I do. And I told her I have a YouTube channel and I'm a streamer. And she asked what the name of it was. And I said, I'm not going to tell you that because I don't like to mix my personal life with my professional life. And she like got frustrated with me. She's like, you mean I can't come and like listen to your stuff? And I was like, no, you can't. I don't want that. Thank you, but no. If you stumble on it, hey, congratulations, you found me. But no, I'd rather you didn't. So whatever. But we're sitting in this class, and she's very chatty with the professors and with everybody else. So we're laying out these pages, and she looks up and she goes, so what happened in 1984? And everybody just kind of sits for a second. And I turn over my shoulder, I look at her, and I was like, the book, 1984, by George Orwell. And she goes, she has this blank face, and she goes, I've never heard of it. And I was like, what? You've never heard of 1984? So of course I'm immediately texting Lupus, and I was like, you've heard of 1984, right? He's like, yeah. And I was like, this is a thing that Australians know about, right? He's like, of course. And I was like, okay, just checking, because for a second I thought maybe it was a cultural thing. But she had no idea. She was blank. And I was like, it's where we get the phrase like Big Brother. And she's like, well, I know what Big Brother, the TV show, is. And I was like, well, yeah, that's named because of 1984 and the government always watching you. That's why they call it that. I was stunned. I was like, how? And then at that point I was not judging her, because I was like, okay, she just managed to live under a rock. Somehow she has dodged, like Matrix style, dodged any exposure to George Orwell. Okay, fine. That's pretty cool, actually. But then she Googles it, and she loudly announces that, oh, that's why I've never heard of it. It's not the kind of thing I would read. Okay, bitch, now we're gonna have words. Like, at that point, no, I'm gonna judge you, because you can think what you want. You can have whatever opinions you want about literature, modern or classic or whatever. But you don't just get to be like, I've never heard of this thing, and it's because it's not my kind of thing. And no, you don't get to be like, take this attitude of judgment over something that is so incredibly part of our collective consciousness that you seem like the idiot for not knowing about it, which I wasn't gonna say out loud, but like, no, that's where I started to judge her. Like, no, you don't get to be dismissive of this incredibly seminal piece of work that literally defines the overreach and creeping invasion of government, observation and control into the population. Like, you don't get to just dismiss that like it's nothing. It's just the weirdest attitude. So yeah, that was a strange moment, but I thought you guys might appreciate it. Yeah, what happened in 1984? I almost wanted to be like, Google it. What did happen in 1984? I have no fucking idea. So, Mary Sphinx. Thanks, Matcha. Look, guys, it's a matcha. Hi, Matcha. I know, Matcha. Matcha, they're having a party over on Twitch, and I'm not even live. They're doing some weird... They had a hype train, and I wasn't even live. It's weird that you're allowed to do that. You love this book to where I would tie someone... No, I don't actually... I would never make anybody read anything. But, like... Again, everybody here has heard of the book, even if you haven't read it. You've heard of the book. You understand where the phrase Big Brother comes from. Like, you are aware of the, not necessarily the plot of the book, but what it means. When someone says, oh, we're into this like 1984 dystopia, you know what that means. You understand the reference. Everybody's got that sort of cultural understanding of what that means in context. She did not. She thought 1984 was just a year something interesting happened. So yeah, it's Queen made a great up. I just watched Bohemian Rhapsody last night, you guys. We just watched that. We watched that and Ned Kelly, and holy shit, did I cry my eyes out at Ned Kelly. It's the Heath Ledger one. He's so good. Highly recommend it, but please do not watch it if you have a hard time watching animals get hurt, which I do. I'm real bad at that. I don't like watching animals get hurt. There's more of that than I was comfortable with in that movie, which in the context it was motivated, it made sense, but like, and it wasn't dogs. If it had been dogs, I probably would have lost my shit. It wasn't dogs. But still, if you have a problem with animals taking damage or being killed, do not watch that. But otherwise, yeah, Ned Kelly is an Australian legend, like basically the Australian Robin Hood of the 1870s. Very fascinating. Pretty incredible, honestly. And the movie hews apparently fairly true to life. So... Animal abuse media. Yeah. There's a website called doesthedogdie.com where you can actually go check and see if your chosen movie or show or whatever has any sort of animals coming to any sort of harm. I use that a lot. Most of the time I avoid stuff like that. I have seen the John Wick movies, but I skip the parts where anything happens to any animals. So, yeah. I'm not there for it. I cannot deal with that level of suffering. So it was Ned Kelly was a hard watch. But in the end, actually, it wasn't the animal stuff that made me cry as hard as I did. It was people stuff. Surprisingly, rarely does that get me. Does people going through it get me? But there's a scene at the end that just broke me. And even just thinking about it, I'm starting to get a little, like, knot in the back of my throat. So I'm going to stop thinking about it. I love hearing about Ned Kelly. Yeah. Ned Kelly is a really cool story. And his armor and helmet and stuff are still, like, on display in museums. Like, you can see there's, like, 18 different dents from the bullet holes. It's really, really cool. It's just it's very quintessential Australian lore. Like, it's the most Australian thing I've seen outside of the castle. So, cool music. Thank you. This is my my chill vibes playlist that is also copyright free, so we can enjoy it without it becoming a thing. Such is life. Exactly. That's what Ned Kelly said. Such is life. He was 25 years old. Favorite Australian female singer? I don't know who that is. There's a lot of them. Yeah, it's with John Wick, they're not making fun of the dog dying. Yeah, they're making fun of how dumb that kid is because they know that people get very attached to their dogs. And John Wick in particular, very attached to the dog. So why on earth would you do anything that, like most of us, the only thing that would make us actually violent, most of us are fairly peaceful people, but the only thing that would make us actually violent is if somebody hurt one of our pets or one of our family members, you know, like pets are family. And I know, like, I personally, I don't get angry a lot. I get frustrated or annoyed or sad or whatever, but like actual rage, if somebody hurt my dog, yeah, like that would do it. So how stupid do you have to be to hurt somebody's pet, knowing that that guy killed 3 people with a pencil? Like, just, why would you take that chance? I don't understand. Like, does the dog die? Yeah, it's absolutely a good website. It's a good resource to have. You made your character in Project Zomboid eat bouillon cubes? Huh. And why would that cheer me up? What? Guys, you stay off Twitch. You fucking stay off Twitch. Oh, Olivia Newton-John. My mother loved Olivia Newton-John. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I actually think I have some of her stuff on my chill playlist, like my personal chill playlist, not the one that's copyright free. She had a really nice voice. She really did. And she was in Grease too, right? Like the OG Grease. Yeah, I liked her. Yeah, my mom really, really liked her. Lance Reddick, yeah, I saw that. He was very young. It's very sad. Yeah, exactly. Nothing triggers us more than something happening to our pets. So I don't think in John Wick that anybody was making fun of the dog dying. It was more of a, that is literally the dumbest thing you could ever do in the history of ever. to get, like, if you want to be actively hunted by, like, a soccer mom, that's how you do it, let alone somebody like John Wick. Like, there is nobody that wouldn't affect in that way. So, it's a Kalana. Hi, Kalana. I can still see you guys on Twitch. I still have it open. I see you. I'm observing you. I perceive you. God damn it. Thank you, Anonymous. Whatever. Fucking God Alright, okay. Anyway. You're not in charge. You guys aren't in charge on Twitch. I'm still in charge on Twitch. Vod, thank you for the gift sub. You can't start another hype train. It's not gonna happen. It's too soon. Too soon. Looking forward to the new John Wick. Yeah, same. Also, I'm grudgingly looking forward, not looking forward to, I'm going to see the new D&D movie. I know I'm probably going to regret it, but I feel like I'm sort of obligated to, and if it's bad, I want to immerse myself in the bad and then bitch about it. And if it's good, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Either way, it's a win. Can't really go wrong with that. Sandwich, I see you. Just checking. You can't just checking bullshit. No. You guys, stop it. Have you seen today's soccer moms? No idea. I haven't been to a soccer game in... No. The last sporting event I went to was the cricket. I went to the cricket. Sing for you? No. I don't sing. I don't sing. See, 35 minutes until you can do another hype train. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Zombie's here. Hello, Zombie. Zombie is another of my lovely Olympian patrons. Zombie is the one responsible for the Florist Nymph series. If you guys like that series, that is Zombie. That was his idea. First time you see me live here? Yeah, I only do these twice a year. I do one for my birthday, and I do one for the channel's birthday in September. That's it. I don't do a lot of live streaming on YouTube. It's, you know, it's easier just to pop on Twitch and I can play stuff while we're doing it. But I like to make sure we can do this a couple times a year and hang out, and people that don't normally hang out, I can hang out with. It's always fun. Have I seen the old D&D movie? I don't think so. Go to a curling. I don't think they have curling down here. This is Australia. Like, we don't get naturally occurring ice. Skeptical of the D&D movie, but yeah. I sang it. I sung a little like lullaby in the baby audio. I did. That's the closest you're gonna get to the singing. Hi, it's D6. Hi, D6. Janice. Still seeing you. Still perceiving. Not yet, Ferb. Don't even use... Okay, so I feel like for those of you that are in the Twitch chat right now, for whatever reason, and you don't, you know, if you're new there, I should probably explain some of the emotes. So the gnome is Steve. Steve lives in my house. I use the term lives loosely. So Steve was gifted to us when we moved into this house. Steve is a little gnome who's sitting on a little mushroom playing with his little laptop. That's why his name is Steve. We've sort of made a thing out of hiding Steve in various places for the other to find. Steve has been in many, many places. Steve has been in the vent in the ceiling. Steve has been in the car. Steve has been in the microwave. Steve has been behind the books on the shelf, you know, all over the place. Steve is currently hidden, and it is my turn. It's my turn to find Steve. I have not yet found Steve. When I do, it'll be my turn to hide him. This has been going on since we've been in this house, so 6 months, 6.5 months. A long time. Oh no, it's almost 7 months now we've been in this house. Jeez. Yeah, actually it'd be 7 months tomorrow on my birthday. So yeah, that's Steve. So Steve is the gnome. Steve occasionally takes a ride on the Roomba, whose name is Arthur. I mean, not Arthur, Arnold. Sorry, my brain's a little melty. Arnold, because Schwarzenegger. And Arnold has a little face and is very, very bad at his job. He doesn't know his way around. He doesn't know what's going on. He gets lost a lot. He gets stuck on things a lot. He can't find his way home. He needs help finding his way home. So Steve is in the Twitch chat. One time, Lupus hid Steve on my phone. Took a picture of Steve and set it as the background on my phone. I did not, it took me forever to even notice it because I just wasn't paying attention. That was one of the better Steve hiding places. So yeah. Hold on, I'm scrolling. Misbehave and get attention. I mean, if you like that sort of attention, I suppose. Totally rolled a nat 20. We're talking a little about D. I've only played a couple of campaigns myself. I am enjoying it. If you guys like that sort of thing, I will be streaming it again next week. No, actually, I won't be streaming it. I probably won't be streaming it anymore, but somebody else will, because we do it as a group. Dragon's Wings is a big group. And last time, I think 4 or 5 people were streaming it. I probably won't stream it because actually, as much as people seem to love D&D and love talking about it, very few people like to watch me play it, which is fine. That's completely legit. I realize it can be kind of boring. I can't interact with the chat, like verbally, while we're playing, because I have to be dealing with the character stuff and all that. I can type in the chat, but like mostly it's a very passive, which is hard as a streamer because I like to interact with you guys. I like to read the chat and respond to you guys like we're doing right now. So when we're doing D&D, I can't really do that. I still enjoy the game though, so what I'll probably do is I'll play it and then direct you guys to whoever is streaming the game that I'm playing in, so you can come watch if you want to. You know, if you're, and then that streamer will get some extra love that way too, which is nice. So yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. So that's next week, next Saturday night, your guys' time, I believe, at like 9 Eastern, I think, 90% sure. And I'll see who's doing. I know Lupus is playing. I'm trying to think of who else. I can't think off the top of my head who else is playing, but I will get a list and see who's streaming it. Oh my God! Speak of the devil, there's a Lupus here. Everybody say hi. Steve's missing and we're just chilling. It's like a Where's Waldo, except it's here. It's not Where's Waldo, you guys. Here it's Where's Wally, which feels wrong. Doesn't it feel wrong? All you Americans in chat, doesn't that feel wrong? Isn't that a little off? You know. Just saying. Yeah, it's Where's Wally. What's my favorite D&D class? Okay, so I'll tell you who I'm currently playing. I mean, again, this is my first foray into D&D. I've watched a lot of it. I've experienced it through a lot of people, including my brother, who played it like the whole time we were growing up and stuff like that. I've just never personally gotten involved, and I've never personally like dug too deep into it. I see you guys on Twitch still. Can you please come back over? Can you please come back over to YouTube, you guys? You fucking gremlins. Get your ass over here. I currently play a tiefling cleric. She's a Twilight Domain cleric. She's got a big fucking hammer and a crossbow, and now a staff, actually. Which reminds me, I need to go and add that to my stuff. And, yeah, I like her. I'm a healer, like, by nature when I play games, like, anything from Final Fantasy to, what else do I play that I'm a freaking healer in? Anything where I can play a healer, I will. I gravitate toward, League of Legends, when I used to play the shit out of that. I don't anymore, but I used to. I really went hard on healing, so I like that. I like being a support. I like keeping the team alive, as frustrating as it can be sometimes. So I do sort of gravitate toward that kind of role. Lupus, what you doing? What you doing over in Twitch, Lupus? I see you. Fucking see you. What you doing? I technically do have a TikTok. I don't use it. I've posted one video of us taking a walk one night, and that was really it. I use it to watch other people. There are people better than I on TikTok who are producing lovely content, and I can watch them. Okay, where was I? Jojo's still here. Hi, Jojo. I gotta scroll back up. You guys talk a lot faster than I can keep up with. Wally the World Eater. Warhammer is so dark. I love it. I need to work some more on my salamanders. I gotta paint them. I kind of lull myself. Like, it's sort of like real life ASMR to sit there and paint my little dudes, because I start to get kind of drowsy doing it. It's just so chill. I need to put on some really banging music or something while I do it so I don't pass out. Running without a cleric is rough. I mean, I do a lot more attacking than healing. Our last campaign, I was able to actually heal a bit, which was nice. And I took on cooking as well, so I can make snacks and like heal people a little bit more, which is fun. Because I like to cook in real life too. I'm so lame. I just want to support and heal and cook and occasionally swing a big hammer, but mostly those other things. So yeah. Gremlins over on Twitch. All of you are gonna suffer. I'll see all of you tomorrow when I stream just chill shit in the morning. I'll see you guys for that. Also, if there's something you want me to play, let me know. I'm not gonna play any more like tense crap. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'm gonna play something chill. But if you guys want Stardew or Super Auto Pets or Power Wash Sim or balloons or any of those things, y'all know where I am. Let me know what you have in mind. You can drop it an inspiration point if you want on the Discord. Let's see. Scrolling back up. Have I ever played Dungeons & Dragons? This is my first experience. This last couple of, last month and a half or 2 months I've been playing has been my first personal experience playing D&D. But my first ever role in the game was a nat 20. And I've also got my first set of real life dice, and my roll on that was a 19, my first roll on that. So pretty lucky. I'm pretty happy. You play a group made up of all clerics. Yeah, I mean, I got plenty of attack. I do lots of damage. I do play salamanders. Vulcan is like my favorite grunkle. I would love to be hugged by Vulcan. I realize it would probably snap my spine, but come on, like, he wants to boop this creature. Cook, clean, heal, support, and wear nice clothes. Yeah, my cleric wears scale mail. Her background is pretty wealthy, so she's used to creature comforts, I guess. Morning Australia time. It is morning Australia time right now. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Chill in quotes. That's true. The chill streams are not always chill. I see you, Jojo, you traitor. What are you doing, you guys? I don't know why Twitch allows this, but whatever. Have your fun. Have your fun in your little... This is like a ball pit. Like, I'm having a nice... Like, we're at the Marriott. This is a conference room. We've got like a nice little spread set up with a projector and some sound effects. And I've got my little clicker and I'm like talking to you guys. And in the next room, there's this big fucking ball pit for the children. And everybody's just throwing their toddlers into it. Like, there, go play. You guys have your fun in the ball pit. Okay, where was I? Let me scroll back up. Power Wash. Yeah, Power Wash Simulator is a thing. It is a very chill game. You literally do exactly that. You just power wash filthy things like golf carts and houses. But it's a fun way to be able to talk to you guys while I do it. I do enjoy that. So. There's no good Krieg set. Gasp! Yeah. If you're into the Kriegsmen, like, I respect. I actually have, over on Twitch, I have an emote for happy gas mask noises. It's cute. It's really fucking cute. I made it cute. Clerics are great, yeah. Someone say ball pit. No. Okay, it's a ball pit, but it's like the ones at McDonald's where it's kind of gross and crusty and you don't really want to go in there. You don't want to go in there. Ball pits are like petri dishes, exactly. Why are you not in the ball pit? Get in the ball pit if you want to, I don't care. That's the little Kriegsman. That's not happy gas mask noises, bud. This is happy gas mask noises. What's in its name or link to this set? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is there a good Krieg set? I don't actually know. I was asking. What's the best date I've been on? Oh man, I don't even know if I can answer that question. All right, I'll say this. I'll make a more blanket statement because that kind of thing that's hard to answer, but a sandwich. I see you. in my experience, good dates have more to do with the person that you're with than what you're doing. Because sometimes, like, I have a good time not doing a whole lot of anything. Like, you can just chill on the couch and still have a really fucking good time. Like, you walk away from that going, that was a really good time. Like, it's a vibe more than anything else. But it's up to both people to kind of establish that. Like, a lot of checking in with each other, a lot of making sure that you're both having a good time, a lot of good conversation, like, depending on how well you know the other person, like, just talking, getting to know each other, not taking yourself too seriously, because if you're doing something that's been scheduled or booked or whatever, like, sometimes shit goes sideways and you have to be able to roll with that. Like, it doesn't have to be too structured, doesn't have to be, it can just be, if it's just a good time, like, honestly, no stress, just relax and enjoy the other person. That's a good date. That's a good time, especially if they remember stuff that you've told them, which I realize is a low bar, but you guys know what I'm talking about. If they remember stuff you've told them, if they remember things about you, if they bring up something that you're into because you're into it, if they listen when you speak, or there's a difference between listening when somebody talks and just waiting for your turn to talk, like the first one where you can just be present with somebody and that they are perceiving you, they are hearing you, they are taking what you say to heart, even if it's like a spirited debate about something that you're not entirely on the same side of. There's that level of respect and engagement and consideration that shows that the other person is making an effort. Like, they want to hear you, they want to understand you, they want to learn about you and how you think. Like, that's lovely. That's a good vibe. I appreciate it. So, yeah. Anyway. Good luck on the art piece, Sebastian. I see you, Winter Panda. And thank you. I saw we hit 2,000 on the GoFundMe. That is fucking amazing. You guys are blowing my mind with the support. Like I said, my brain, I'm of two minds. Inside me, there are two wolves. One of them is appreciative and grateful for the GoFundMe. The other one wants to bite it. But, yeah. I see you guys over on Twitch. I'm still watching you. Fiddling on the sofa watching a Bill Burr spread. Everybody's got their own, whatever fits you. Like, a good date is a very personal, individual thing. But for me, it comes down to the connection, I guess. If you've got a good connection with somebody, if it feels like, they're not trying to outdo you, they're not trying to speak over you, they're not trying to just, like, wait for you to stop talking so they can talk about themselves, things like that. And again, I realize that's a fairly low bar, but work with me here. Yeah, the little things. So do their two wolves feed both? Yeah. My wolves have had Pop-Tarts. They're fine. I am probably going to wrap this up here soon because I have a script to write today, you guys. It is writing day. And then probably tonight, recording. The writing is still by far the longest part of any of these audios that I do. The recording and editing and soundscaping and stuff, I can usually knock that out pretty quick. I've gotten streamlined. I can go through an audio and clean it up pretty quickly. But the script writing, the front end stuff, that is the bottleneck, which I'm okay with. Like, that's where my focus is. That's where my specialty is. So, how'd I get into 40K? That's Lupus's fault. That's entirely Lupus's fault. My brother was into it, though, when I was growing up. I do remember him painting figures and stuff. And he and I have had a lot of conversations about it now that I'm into it. But yeah, as far as my involvement, that's definitely Lupus. So, gonna throw hands at my typewriter. Pop-Tarts. I'm not gonna write about Pop-Tarts. I can't do a whole 10-minute audio on Pop-Tarts. Weirdos. All right, I should probably wrap this up. We've been vibing for a while. A bit of a personal question. All right, I will answer this one. What made you get started in ASMR? The answer to that is, couldn't answer that question. I will tell the story again because it's been a while since I told it, but I will tell you how I got involved in these audios in general. So several years ago, I was getting into anime and really enjoying it, watching a lot of anime. And because of that, YouTube started to recommend to me videos that, of course, it thought I would like. And many of those had anime thumbnails, but they weren't anime. They were audios. They were these roleplay audios, which I did not know existed. And I did know what ASMR was. I had a playlist of like ASMR creators that I used to help me sleep at night, like Maria Gentle Whispering, Ephemeral Rift, people like that I would just, put on and like let them explain how to fold napkins until I passed out. So I was familiar with ASMR. I was not familiar with audio role plays. And then I started seeing those, I started listening to those, and I was like, hey, these are pretty cool. I liked the immersive, like it's a radio show, but it's also, you're a part of it, the listener's part of it. So I started dabbling in writing scripts for them for other creators, and they liked those. They seemed to enjoy those. They did well on their channels. And then I thought, wonder if I could do this myself. And this is the part where I still to this day do not understand why I did this, because I've never been told I have a good voice, ever. I've been tapped a lot when I was a kid, like whenever class would do like a presentation or something where one of the class had to get up and like introduce other people in the class. I was usually tapped to do that, but it was because I could pronounce my classmates' names properly and I could read better than they could. So like it had nothing to do with my voice. It had to do with the fact that they could trust me to read stuff out loud in a fairly reliable and accurate fashion. So, but no one had ever said, oh my God, you've got such a soothing voice or anything like that. Never. Don't know why I started. I don't know why. I just bought a microphone and gave it a shot. And that's really it. Like it took off, surprisingly. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I got here. I wish I had an answer for you. So yeah, that's that. Thank you, Jojo. I see your birthday wishes. Technically tomorrow is my birthday, but I wanted to do this early because it's fun to hang out with you guys. Because I have time. So, yeah. That's the answer to that question. I wish it was a better answer. I don't have a better answer. Written by Urban Nymph. That was before I went by Urban Nymph, so you will not see. And there were only a handful. I only wrote a handful before I started doing my own. So the chances of you stumbling on one that I wrote are pretty slim anyway, and if you did, you wouldn't know it was me. That was back when I was still using a different name. So you'll never know. The creators themselves don't know that was me, if that's any consolation. So, yeah. Commission a Warhammer one. Oh man. See, and you guys know how I am with audios. When it's something that has to do with existing lore, I tend to, whether it's like mythology, like actual mythology, stuff like that, I tend to get very into the weeds on the research a lot. And I've complained before about it. I will never stop complaining about how the Helen of Troy series kicked my ass on the research, because as much as I thought I knew about Greek mythology, holy shit did I have a lot to learn. And then even things like the soundscaping, the sounds of the streets of Rome, that's actually the sounds of the streets of Rome. I found an audio file on a free website that was somebody sampling just walking down the streets of Rome. So I was determined to make it as accurate as possible. I didn't want you to hear Swedish in the background of a Roman audio, you know what I mean? So like, the research kicks my ass, which I'm fine with. It's like, that's part of the process. But when there's existing lore that I need to operate within the rules of, my drive to make it as accurate as possible and to avoid any sort of potential issues with the content, it's a lot. It takes up a lot of time. So doing a Warhammer audio, holy shit, would I have a lot to learn. I know so little. I feel like I know so little. So yeah. I do commissions. Again, the link is in the pinned tweet on my Twitter. Perfectionist of details. Yep, that's basically, I can't, and really part of it is I'm a perfectionist myself, and part of it is that I worry that like the one day that I release, say, a Greek mythology audio that isn't completely well researched, there'll be some classics professor in the chat, churning up in the comments being like, well, actually, and they will be right, and I will feel dumb. I don't want that. So, yeah. All right, on that note, I am going to wrap it up, you guys. And I see you guys. I don't have that one set up yet, Vod. not over on the Twitch. All right, I'm gonna wrap up. For real. We're gonna do this. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. I do appreciate you. This is always fun. We do this twice a year. We'll do it again in September. If you guys want it badly enough, I might do it more often. I don't know. It's not a huge deal either way. I am on Twitch. Come follow me over there if you want to hang more often. And yeah, that's basically it. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the hype train over on Twitch, for the super chats here. You guys are amazing. You're so supportive. I could not do this without you. And I hope you know that. I hope you understand like how important you are to me and how much I appreciate all of your support and all of it. Just the fact that you listen, to my audios. I see the comments you guys leave. I see the likes. I see the viewer count. Like I love it when something I put out actually entertains you guys. I love it so much. It makes my whole day. So anyway, on that note, I will talk to you guys later, I guess. I'm gonna go write. So be good. I'll talk to you soon.